Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Words for Life, the podcast where we look for inspiration, motivation through quotes, phrases, ideas, and people. Today, we're going to look at the quote that goes like this: Focus on what you can control. Don't waste time worrying about what you can't control. So, the idea behind this quote is that really we shouldn't spend time or energy on the things that we don't have control over. This is more difficult for some than others. Worrying can become an inherent part of our lives the more we get used to doing it. Worry is one of those things that can cause more stress in your life than almost any other aspect of it because you're trying to predict a future outcome that you have no control over or that you have no insight into how it will actually pan out. So, when we think about worry, like I said, it's one of the largest wastes of time and energy because it really serves no purpose. I've heard it said before that when you worry, you're actually punishing yourself twice: once for worrying about what's going to happen, and then twice for possibly the event actually happening. So, as we go through and worry, we're kind of hurting ourselves two times possibly. And if we are lucky and maybe it doesn't turn out in a bad way, then we've still punished ourselves for something that we probably didn't need to. And punish might be a bit of a strong word, but causing ourselves stress or anxiety over a future event that we have no control over. Now, there is good time to worry when you do have control over the outcome of an event. So if you think about something you do have control over, whether it's creating a project or whether it is meeting a deadline and worrying whether you'll get it done on time, I would recommend rather than worrying, why don't you spend that time and energy on actually accomplishing that task, activity, or goal? You will have then a productive use of your energy as well as your time. So, if you think about it this way, worry has no benefit. It's not going to serve us. And it really is something that has crept up in our mind that is possibly a defense mechanism or some other action of our brain trying to prepare us for a future event. I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't seem to be helping. There might have been a purpose a long time ago back, when we were cavemen, but right now it doesn't serve us too much, at least not in our modern world. So my ask of you is this: the next time you find yourself worrying about something, take a step back. Think about whether do you have control over the outcome of what you're worrying about? If you do, stop worrying and then focus that time and energy you're spending thinking about the outcome or what's going to happen or what may or may not happen and spend it on actually trying to improve that outcome through your own efforts. If you find that you don't have control over the outcome, also stop worrying. It's not going to help you. It's probably going to make things worse by causing you stress and anxiety for something that you have no control over. And that in turn can just make your life worse. So, as you can see, it's really not worth worrying about and doesn't help. Now, as I said before, it's become a habit for many people. So, it can be more difficult to sit back, stop, and make sure that we stop worrying. So, you might need to take incremental steps towards doing this. So, one way you can do it this week is when you go through and start worrying, you might not recognize it. So it might become something as an afterthought. So you can take your time during the week and maybe at the end of the week, review how many times did you spend worrying. So document those in your journal and now go back and determine those items or actions or behaviors or situations or events that you were worrying about. How many of them did you have control over? When you go and try and determine which ones you had control over, for those that you did, go back and determine why didn't you make an effort to take some action to eliminate or alleviate your worrying. Those are steps you can do. Possibly it's procrastination, possibly it's fear of another person, whatever might be the case. Go back and assess that so that way the next time you encounter a similar situation, you can be better prepared by going and analyzing and thinking what you can do next time. For those actions, items, events, or situations that you didn't have control over, try and determine why were you worrying. Some of it is because it's the fear of unknown. We all have that. But like I said, worrying about the unknown of the future doesn't serve you any benefit. So try and recognize those fears. Maybe it's due to a relationship not going as well as you thought it would, or a presentation not being as well done as you thought it would. Unless you have control over it, don't spend the time worrying about it, and recognize those patterns when you do start to worry. When you start seeing that you worry more about how a conversation with a colleague or coworker is going to go badly or not go the way you had planned, you can be prepared in advance to catch yourself before you start worrying, knowing that whatever conversation or whatever behavior they're going to choose to react with is their own choice and it's nothing for you to control. These are a few examples of when you can handle worrying, how you can document and learn from your patterns of worry to try and improve your situation. So, in conclusion, focus on what you can control. Don't waste time worrying about what you can't control. Worrying is a waste of time and energy and just causes stress and anxiety for the things that we don't have control over. For the things that we do, put an effort into actually making productive changes on the thing you are worrying about and spend that energy in a productive way rather than worrying. If you have some situations where you worry more than others and you're not quite sure how to address them, or you have a goal of being able to worry less and you would like assistance with it, please reach out to me. You can go to my coaching website, which is listed below, and we can set up some time to discuss how I might be able to assist you with that, balancing your life to create less worry and put more energy towards what is going to help you in the long run. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of Words for Life. If you have any questions, suggestions, or ideas for future episodes, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at attitudealtitudeacceptance@gmail.com. Would love to hear about them and try and put them on future episodes. I want to thank you all and have a great day.